If you're anything like me and you've seen this clip of Nick Jonas, you'll probably laugh and cringe for a bit and then possibly feel a bit of relief. It's not just you that has random mind blanks when performing or playing your instrument. But why the hell does this happen? I remember back to the times when I used to play on stage and my mind was completely blank. It didn't matter if it was an easy or difficult song, my ability to play anything would just completely disappear. In this video, I want to talk about 3 reasons why this happens, and then talk about what we can do to play better and more consistently under pressure. But before we do that, I want to share with you this clip of Nick Jonas, drummer for Goldfinger and the band Girlfriends. This will help us to understand better what's going on under the hood.
What is actually going through your head when you're drumming this fast?
But my brain kind of just sits in this like floaty space where my body is just reacting, almost in this like out of body experience, right? Where your brain isn't having to think too much. My body is just naturally doing what it knows how to do behind the drums.
You know when you're in flow when you're playing your instrument. You've allowed your mind to relax and your body pretty much plays the instrument. And floaty space just seems like a great way of explaining it. All right, so let's look at why this happens. So the most obvious and known reason for this is the classic survival response. You've probably heard of fight or flight, but there's a third one as well, and that's freeze. Clearly we're no longer fighting animals in the wild, but our brain can still react the same way to other stresses. The way that this works is that freezing would make us less noticeable to predators. The play dead or stay still technique. So our mind mostly works in past and future, which is great for making progress with a task. But thinking of the future too much can pull us out of the present moment, and that moment where we're playing and performing with ease. I don't know if you've ever had thoughts like, I'm gonna mess this up. What's the next fill again? Oh shit, is this the first or the second verse? And that one used to get me a lot. Eckhart Tolle says that where there is true presence, there is no fear. So in a way, point 1 and point 2 from this video sort of join together, because if we're present, and therefore without fear, then our survival response wouldn't have to kick in either. The legend Bob Proctor says that the subconscious mind is where your habits and your skills are stored. So those are the kind of things that we do on autopilot, like driving a car, for example. Any thoughts and things we say or do that we repeat over and over again get stored in the subconscious mind. So that's where the skills of playing your instrument are going to be kept. So it makes sense that when we're in flow with our music and we're playing with ease, then our subconscious mind is working to the best of its ability. Our conscious mind can easily distract the subconscious mind, especially under times of pressure or stress, like performing or even doing a graded exam like I did recently. And just to add to it as well, and I promise we'll get onto more positive stuff, but if you've had bad experiences in the past with forgetting stuff, and maybe that's attached with emotion like embarrassment or strong feelings, then we'll have to work even harder to stay calm in the moment. If you watch somebody like Travis Barker, you'll see that he looks super spaced out. He's so calm and present, even though he's using a lot of physical energy. And this is a great example of being in flow and being in the moment. Drummers, next time you're at a drum set, try playing a really simple beat for as long as possible and sort of see how much your brain wants to add in a feel. This is your mind kind of like trying to hijack the present moment and the ego sort of taking over and wanting to play fills. It's a really interesting thing to try. So on to the good bit. What are some things that we can do to minimize this experience and to help us stop forgetting stuff under pressure? I have to say at this moment that I'm no professional and I'm just speaking from experience and an interest in the subject. So if you're really struggling with this and it's bringing on sort of panic or anxiety, please consider seeing a professional. So number 1 is knowing and accepting that it really just doesn't matter. Sometimes just knowing and accepting that things go wrong and it happens to everybody can make the resistance sort of start to fade away. It's not what everyone wants to hear, but in reality, most musicians and performers recover so fast that the audience doesn't even notice anyway. Years of practice help them improvise and quickly find their place, or the band sort of makes a joke out of it and starts again. It really doesn't matter. And actually, sometimes it makes the experience more memorable for the audience in a good way. Practice practicing with presence. So the good news is with practice, we can train ourselves out of this feeling of stress when performing. It's not easy though, and it will take a lot of practice and a lot of time. We need to practice, but practice practicing with presence. Playing with a focus on what's happening now. So play a rudiment, a groove, or a song that you know well, and become aware when you're thinking about what's going to happen next, or something else that's unrelated to the music you're playing. And then bring yourself back into the moment of playing. It's kind of like a meditative experience, but you can start training your brain to come back to the present moment as much as possible. Sometimes it's almost like magic, like your hands are playing themselves. And that's that sort of floaty space that Nick Jonas was talking about earlier. 3, mental rehearsals and visualization. I won't go too deep into this in this video, but athletes like swimmers and Formula 1 drivers, they go through mental rehearsals, visualizing what could go wrong and how they would react in those moments.
Open the steering wheel flat out right up to the gravel, all the way through the gears now, flat out, up the cops, 8th gear.
And what it does is it mentally prepares them for the performance. And this can help us avoid that stress response because we know what's coming up and we are expecting that it's not just going to be plain sailing and there's going to be these nerves and apprehension that comes up and sort of makes us maybe not perform at 100%.
So everything around me was taken care of when I got to a meet. So I could be completely relaxed. So when I put my headphones on, all I'm thinking about is the music. I get to go up and just do what I practice to do. All of those countless hours of staring at the black line at the bottom of the pool, that was for this moment.
And number 4 is about adding pressure slowly over time. So what this means is we play to our goldfish or we play to our family members before we start headlining arenas. What we can do then is we can start reflecting on parts of the performance that were affected by the nerves and the stress. And we can work on those areas extra hard and make sure that next time those are solid and well practiced. This gradual exposure to stress can help us to feel calm when we're rewiring our responses. I said this in my previous video about taking the graded exam, and I was practicing at faster BPMs than I needed to add the extra pressure so that when I brought it down in the exam, I was more calm. I know this is quite a random topic to make a video about. I love thinking about music in this way and sharing it with you guys as well. So hit the like button if you enjoyed it and let me know in the comments. Keep hitting stuff and I'll see you in the next video.